So basically, this is an endnote that you are supposed to use. And I have asked your team leaders to guide you to install the program for weeks. I believe that most of you have already have one of the copies inside your computer. I hope this is the case. So let's go to lesson 10. So lesson 10, and that's basically we practice. And you have so far, most of the students have finished writing 2 paragraphs. And I would like you to use a paragraph to, of course, you can revise those paragraphs. You can revise those paragraphs, that would be fine. And use your own paragraph to give the citations. For example, this is the introductory paragraph I gave you a few weeks ago, and this is without citations. So let's look at why do we need citations. First of all, let's try to identify the paragraph, the structure of the paragraph. This paragraph here. So this one, of course, is the topic sentence. Is that right? So basically, we have 3 functions. So the function of the media is to inform the readers and to oversee the governments and to provide a platform for dialogues. Is that right? So basically, the first one, its first function is to keep its readers informed of the current events. So this one is a reflection, is a further argument for to inform the readers. But let's take a look about this one. According to an American Press Institute study, more than 85% of American follow news through television. So this part is a citation. I cannot have this information, this idea by myself. Why? Because I have no way to know what is the percentage of Americans follow news through televisions. And this idea come out from the American Press Institute of Study, right? So basically, this part, starting from here to here, I need to find a citation. I need to cite this idea. And the other one, Pointer, an American think tank, also found out that here, most Americans rely on NPR to orient them on the current events. So look here, this idea does not come out from myself either. So I need, again, to quote from here, starting from here to here. So basically, this is number 2. I need to have a citation. So this is number 1. And do you still remember that we need to mark the boundaries, right? So look here. The way of the writing for these 2 is very clear. This one to here. And this is the beginning, and mark the beginning here. More than 85% of Americans follow news through television. So this is the end. And a Pointer, an American think tank, also found out that. So this is the marking the beginning here. Most Americans rely on NPR to orient themselves to current events. Okay, so this is the ending. And remember, this is my argument. Its first function is to keep its readers informed of the current events, right? So this is my opinion, and I use these 2 evidences to support my opinion. And next, the next one is the second one is the media also check on what the governments have done, and this is to extend my argument to oversee the government. So because it constantly follows the government's actions, the media can sense the wrongs that the governments may have done. This is my reasoning is used to support this one. And Watergate is exactly one of the classical examples of what the media can contribute to the righteousness of the society. And this one is a common sense. Most Americans know this, so I do not need to cite. So look here, I have two supporting evidence. This one and this one. And these two sentences are used to support my argument for this. The media also check on what the governments have done, and this is used to reflect, to oversee the governments. Okay, so look here. I do not use reference, use citations, because this is my idea, but this is out of my own reasoning, so I can use it. But how about this one? More than 80% of Americans? No, I did not have the number, and I have no idea about most Americans rely on NPR. So I have two sites. Use the source from American Press Institutes or a pointer. So there are two supporting evidences. Okay, so the next one is, so with the section of for readers' feedback, the media can help people to express their ideas. So look here, for this one is to reflect this one to enhance the arguments to provide the platform for dialogues. And this one, people would sometimes find it difficult to let their problems known by the governments, and media provides them a relatively easy channel to express their concerns, either by calling to the television and writing to the newspapers. So look here. And the argument here is also my reasoning. I don't need to cite because I believe that I think about it, I thought of this idea. So this is used to support this. So this is conclusion. It's therefore so obvious to the end of to the government. So look here. Overall, we have two sentences. This one and this one. Apparently, the information written here cannot come out from myself because they are from other sources. So I need to cite. Okay? So, and of course, how to cite it, then I will give you another example. Here is a sample paragraph with citations and the references. Okay? And now I'm going to use this file, and I'm going to send the file to our night group. You can download this file, so that would be much easier for you to use. So this is the file, and then let me send it to our night group. Okay, now please download this file into a computer because I'm going to use this for you to accomplish your mission for today. So hurry up, go to our night group to check out the documents so we can know you're here. Well, to be honest, when I was in college, I'm not that diligent student too, just like you. So, but now I'm a professor, so I would like to encourage you to pay more attention to your study. That is the way it is. My goodness. So hurry up. We still have some 20 students out there that they are here, but they are not here. It's so strange. So I give you another 2 minutes to put the file on your screen, so we can talk about that. And in the meantime, I will use this simple file to teach you to go around the different parts of EndNote. This will be very interesting practice. Okay, so as a major to encourage students, and that you are already here, so I will give you, let's say, again, I'll save you roll call again and with the background, just like this. Su Yu Xiang, your is not mine. Okay, I'm going to close the roll call in 1 minute. Okay, roll call ends right now, and I hope you have a good day for this. Great. Okay, so let's take a look about this one. This is a very simple sample file that is available for you to operate some of the very simple mechanism of EndNote, and give you a very basic idea about how to cite and with what kind of mechanism that you can use. Okay, so this is what we have for today, and let me enlarge this. Okay, so this is what we have for our writing. So let's first go to the details of this very simple paragraph. So this paragraph describes the complexity of international affairs. So as usual, we will go through the mechanism of this, the structure of all this paragraph. The first one, let's see. Multiple perspectives are needed for a better understanding toward international politics. So this apparently is the topic sentence, right? Okay, and this topic sentence I further elaborate why it is a very important issue for us to increase our understanding about international politics and also what is multiple perspectives. So now I'll give you a further elaboration on this. An early prototype of using multiple perspective in decision analysis is illustrated in Allison's The Essence of Decision in 1971. Well, this book is about the crisis for Cuba missile, the Cuba's missile crisis against the United States. And with this, we see numerous studies on the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. Allison identified in his book that here, did you notice I used the term Allison identified in this book that, well, it gives you a signal. I'm going to cite some ideas from Allison. So apparently this should be the beginning, right? Beginning. The decision-making process should be analyzed from three conceptual frameworks: the rational actor model, the government process model, and the bureaucratic politics model. But did you notice that I do not have a number here? Because it's very simple. Everyone in our field knows this. Everyone knows this. But for you, I will give you further illustration, but I will give the note, but in the end, the later part. So look here, I have identified three major, we can look at decision making for international politics, three conceptual frameworks. And this conceptual framework, we have three, right? And three refers to multiple. So let's talk about the first one. The rational actor model is based on rational calculation towards goals and objectives, alternative consequences, and choice. It reflects the early classical approach laid by Hans Megenthal's work of balance of power. Well, this is a huge book. And Raymond Aron's focus on value maximization or rational calculation. So look here, I give you two books, two very important books in international affairs, international relations. And I give you one of the first citation number here. Do you see it? Okay, let's go to the citation. First one. I want you to see the book Peace and War Among Nations. And Hans Morgenthau's Politics Among Nations, the Struggle for Power and Peace. Okay, so this is the citation for the two books I used here. So that's why I give you a number refers to the two different books. These books and these books. Okay, so there's a citation number here, as you can see from here. And the second one, we talk about the organizational process model. Reflects two major characteristics of organizations: outward competition and inward rigidity. So there are two major issues for any kind of organizations. One is to compete sources from outside. Every organization does this. And the other one is the inward rigidity. It means that internally, the rules, the hierarchy inside any organization is not flexible. It is rigid. And also the influences on the process of decision making. So, and it refers to the organizational process. Grows largely from James March and Herbert Simon's study on the conflict nature of organization. and its relations with decision making. So look here, we have another citation number for the very important book, their book on the conflict nature of organization and its relations with decision making. Okay, so here let's move down here, number 2. So I want you to see James G. March and the blah blah blah, and this is the reference. Look here. The year for this publication is quite old and quite aged. See, 1958 and 1966. 1958, even I was not born at that time. But the problem is, if you have a classic work in some specific field, and all the scholars in the later age, they will just follow your idea, try to explore, try to examine your ideas in your study and your explorations on the issue. Then, if you were Aaron or Morgenthau, and it just happened to you, you have written something that is so significant for the later generations to enjoy it and to wonder, that would be great, right? I hope I can do that, just like me, Daniel Lin. And let's see what Daniel Lin here. And according to Lin, the bureaucratic politics model emphasizes the impacts of human nature on policy making. So we have a number 3 here. And remember, look here, we have a quotation mark on either side. So it means this part of the citations is word to word. So we need to point out the exact location of the passage from Lin's work. So let's move down to the citation. Do you see this one? So Daniel Lin, implication and impacts of PLA's military activities surrounding the Taiwan Strait and blah, 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 study on the Chinese communism, Marlin, 55, number 1, and 2020, and this is the page 126. You have to identify the page. And of course, this is not written by me. I just use this for example, just invent some article, faint article. Okay, so, but I just give you an idea. Even I want to cite myself, I need to point out to the source and to the page. This is the page. Why do I need a page? Because here, I use the right quote. See, I use the right quote. It means everything here is the exact words from the original text. That's why I need to identify the page. Okay, so number 4. It stems from the work of Richard Newstate's concept of power problem faced by every president and the realization of personal influences and Lindgren's incrementalism. So here I point out 2 other very important writers, scholars in this field, and Lindgren's and Newstate's. So incrementalism, so we have another citation here is 4. So let's move to number 4. So see Charles blah 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 and blah 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 and here, right? So this is the way it is. Very interesting, and you just cite and take a note. So as multiple issues can arise at the same time. So basically, this is the conclusion for my arguments. As multiple issues can arise at the same time, it is insufficient to look at any single issue with a single-eyed perspective. So look here. This is corresponding to the topic sentence here. Is that right? As a conclusion. So here is a very simple structure. And remember one thing. Because this is a sample, so I did this on purpose to use a lot of citations to describe this one. But most of the time, when you develop one paragraph, most of the context for one paragraph is used to should come out from your own ideas. So that should be full of your own argument. But sometimes you need to have the evidence to support your arguments. So in this case, you will use citation. So in one paragraph, if there is no citation, that will be fine because I believe that all come out from your ideas. If you have one or two, that is also good. So there's no certain rules about how you need to cite or how much you need to cite. But basically, you never plagiarize. If this idea does not come out from yourself, you cannot use it. You cannot use it without proper citation. So this is very simple. Okay. Now, I want you to follow with me and to play along with the EndNote, how to use EndNote. Did you see this one? If the EndNote program is installed properly, you should have seen this EndNote. This just like this one, you click it. This one, is that right? So if we go to the library, then I can go to the EndNote. Then you can see all the bibliographical information I used here is actually come out from here. And this is something I did. And now I'm going to teach you how to export, how to use this one. You can do this. You can put your cursor somewhere other than the reference part. Just like for you to put here in the main text, and you can go to export to EndNote. We can export the embedded library into your own. So you can use export traveling library. Now, please do this one. And if you have any question, just let me know and use it. Okay. So once you export your traveling library, then you will have the choices either to an existing library or a new EndNote library. For practice, you use a new EndNote library. And you can click here, OK. And I can give it this for lesson 10. This is for lesson 10. So I just create the library here. So I will save it. When I save it, okay, then you will create a library. See, export complete. I click it. Then I will go to the library to see. See, this is the test for lesson 10. And all the bibliographic information are imported here. For example, this one, this is the library. Okay, this is reference information. Okay, so, and how are you going to use it? Well, basically, for myself, I would just use this one. I put this in over here, and I make it larger. And I will put this one over here, and make it readable. Make it readable. Okay. For example, let me take out about this away. So number one, I refer to these two books. So Aaron and Morgenthau. Now let me take it away. So look here, it's changed. It's not there, right? Now I want to say, okay, because these two books, I will intentionally refer to these two books, and because Morgenthau's talk about balance of power, and Aaron's focus on the value maximization or rational calculation. So I want to cite these two. So I come here, okay, this is the book I want to cite. And also this is Morgenthau I need to cite. So I use control, my left finger, See, here using control and I press control and I use my mouse to click Wenzao. So basically I select two sources, right? Okay. So now I go back here. I go back here and put the citation number. No, I'm the footnote number. This is the footnote number I intentionally put here. Did you see insert footnote? And I click. And did you see that? There's a number here. And because I want you to see these two information. So in this regard, I can put some illustration words here, and I insert citation. So insert selected citation. Please take a look to see what it has been changed over here. I insert it. So look here. For details, see this book and that book. It will just appear there automatically. So this is the way we use EndNote. For example, this one. So according to Lin and this one, and let me take it off. So I will take it off, and you will see number 3, Daniel Lin, will disappear, and 126 it will be also disappeared. So let's try to do this. I'll take it away. You can see it has been changed. Number 3, Daniel Lin is gone. Is that right? So now I want to add in, because according to Lin, and this is a specific direct citation, direct quote from Daniel Lin's work. So I go here. So I click this one. This is the information, the reference I need to cite. I go back to my Word and come back here and use this. Insert. Look here. And I insert citation because I have selected this one, right? So basically I just insert citation and you will appear here. Okay, let's take a look about this one. Daniel Lin's book. Did you see the number of the page here? This one? There's no page at all, right? Because you need to key in by yourself. But don't just key in here. 126, don't do this, because it will not allow you to do this. Let me do this one more time. See, it will disappear, right? And this is very important. How can you do this? You can right-click the mouse and edit citations and go to more. And the edit window will appear in front of you, and go to the pages, and you found that the passage, the exact passage come out from page 126. Okay, you just click OK. Let's see what is the difference we can make. I can move here a little bit. Look here, the number, and you will appear here. See, this is 126. So basically, if you want to change the reference information inside the citation, you need to right-click and edit citations and use more. And you can maneuver around to see what you want to do. For example, if you want to say, this is a test for fun, and this is a prefix, you will put over here. And this is the ending. Okay, so let's see what happened to this. And this is the for fun, okay? And oh, really? Right? And page number is here. So prefix and a suffix. If you want to keep the integrity of your citations, do use right-click, edit and put more here, And let's take this founding part away, and this is the citation you are going to have. Okay, so basically, how can you cite? How are you going to cite? Well, EndNote can help you to accomplish a lot of tasks, and you don't have to change the style by yourself because EndNote will do all the trick for you. For example, let's take a look about this. Now I use the Terrabian 8 footnote style. How about if I want to change it to Chicago style? Yes, you can do this. You can change it to list footnote. Chicago 16 footnote style 17 is all up to you. And let's see if there are any differences. So this is the Chicago style formatted. And this is the Terrabian style. They are different in terms of space, in terms of some of the details. And can we use another way to do this? Well, for example, annotated, that would be different but we don't use this. Let's see if there's annotated. What's wrong? And what would be the difference? This will be different, right? Okay, but remember, we are not using annotated. We are using Terrabian or Chicago style. Just use this one. Just use these two. Okay? And Terrabian, or you want Vancouver, it will become different. So they will just change the style for you. You don't have to do anything if you keep your reference list correct. Okay, keep a tidy and clean reference entries is the must. Okay, let's go back to Terrabian. So this is the format we need. And let's take a look about the font here. Did you notice the font is different between these two? Okay, let me come here. This one is Times New Roman. And this one is not. It is Calibri. Calibri is good for presentation, but not really good for written words. So after you have finished your paper, you have to make sure that all the fonts in your paper is Times New Roman. Then how can you do this? Well, you can come here and Control A, push the two buttons at the same time, and change the font to Times New Roman. The end. Okay, and how about this one? It's Calibri too, right? Some of the words are Calibri, right? So how can you change this? You still use Control A, highlight all notes, and change them to Times New Roman too. So this is the final version we would like you to have. This is the one we need to have. Okay, be careful for this one. Okay, so far, do you have any questions? Okay, so now if not, I'm going to move to some of the mechanics for EndNote. And before that, now I want you to practice a little bit by yourself. And let's take a break. And please come back at 11 after 11:10. And where I will begin to tell you how to maneuver around the EndNote. Okay, let's take a break for 15 minutes and come back at 11:10. See you then.